Hello crafty friends, Tina here. I hope your day is going wonderful. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today we're going to create a card with the Spellbinders Large Die of the Month Club kit. It is a 5-piece cutting die set, and this month it's called the Hex Kaleidoscope Slimline. So we're going to create a slimline card with it. This is really pretty. If you're unfamiliar with the kaleidoscope dies, you layer all three together. So pretty. You just love the kaleidoscope tiles. Now this will actually coordinate with your small die of the month club kit, which is really nice. They're interchangeable, at least your little kaleidoscope pieces are. We are going to start off by creating our card base. I have my scoring board here in a standard sheet of cardstock. I like to score at the 3.5 inch mark, and then I'll fold over my sheet of paper here. I put it back in the corner just so I can go over the score line with my bone folder, and then we'll put this scoreboard away, bring in the paper trimmer, and I'll trim now at the 3.5 inch mark. I like to create my slimline cards like this because I think there's less waste for me and it's easier. I don't have to pull out the big paper trimmer to trim it, and I have that extra piece to create my backgrounds with. So speaking of backgrounds, I would like to share with you the size of this. This is slightly smaller than my card base, which is 8.5 inches by 3.5 inches. You can see it lines up so pretty. And if you were to die cut this out, this is what it looks like. It is absolutely gorgeous, guys. So I'm not going to use the die cut piece, but I thought we'd do something a little bit different with it. I created a panel, a card front panel for my slimline. It's 3.5 inches wide by 8.5 inches tall. And I'm going to take the die, just the die itself, I'm going to tape it down to the middle of my panel. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but you guys can emboss with your dies. And this background is so pretty. That's what we're going to do today. I'm just centering it on my card front panel, and I'm taping it down so it doesn't shift when I emboss with this. I love the outcome and the way this turned out because it kind of reminded me of like cobblestone, but with hexagons. I'm going to bring in my die cutting machine. I prettied it up, put some brand new plates down, but we're not going to use them. I have my embossing mat, so we're going to place that on our platform, and we're going to add our cardstock with our die taped down to it. It just fits, which makes it fabulous. Make sure you center it, and then I'm going to add my embossing plate right over the top. I'll run this through my Platinum 6. Just one time's all you need, and I'm using heavy-duty cardstock, guys. If you use the thin cardstock, you're probably going to break the paper, so use your heaviest weight cardstock for this. Okay, now you're going to remove the tape here, and you're going to see the beautiful detail that this die can do, and it creates beautiful background. You can see how pretty it is. Doesn't it kind of look like cobblestone? So gorgeous. So we're going to use this, keep it white, we're going to use this on our card base today, and I encourage you guys to try doing this with your dies. You're going to be surprised how versatile and how far you can stretch your dies. While we have our die cutting machine out, I'm going to grab my cardstock for my kaleidoscope tiles. I have Waterfall, Teal Topaz, and the darkest is Blue Spruce. All of these are Spellbinders Color Essential cardstock. I'm going to take all three of my hexagons here. The widest area I'm going to put on the darkest color. The skinniest lines in the die I'm going to put, you can see the detail here. The one that has the most detail, it has the skinniest lines. That's going to be cut out with the Waterfall. But we're going to go ahead and die cut out 3 sets of each to fit on our background, and then we're going to just assemble them. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my glue and glue all of these together. Making your kaleidoscope tiles is very easy. Add a thin bead of glue behind your middle piece, and then adhere that to your darkest piece, which will be your background. And I just love the effect because you know what, this gives it dimension too, which makes it really nice. So you not only do you have the detail, but you have the dimension. I'm going to go ahead and add my top piece with my Waterfall cardstock, and I love these colors. I just think they're so pretty. So sky's the limit with your coloring, with your colored cardstock too, guys. So that's one. I'm just going to continue on doing the rest, and then we have all of our little tiles filled, which will fit perfectly in our embossed background. Just hold it down, let that set for a bit. Okay, now I do want to embellish this with a little added color. We're going to go ahead and take this off of our panel and glue this down before we go any further. We'll adhere our background emboss panel to our card base. Just making sure it's centered. And then I'll flip over each of my, I'm going to tape my card closed so it doesn't keep popping open, but I'm going to pop over my little tiles here, and I am going to add foam adhesive behind it. I want a little extra dimension. I did have to cut these small foam squares in half, and I only added a few because I'm going to do a little tucking. Like I said earlier, I want to bring in some extra color, so I'm going to bring in some floral pieces that I put together off camera, guys. But I'm just removing the release paper. We're going to put these in the home that's made for them on our background. And then after we have this done, we're going to bring in our flowers. Just making sure it's centered here. Okay, now of course I like dimension, so I'm adding extra. You don't have to because there's already dimension on each one of those kaleidoscope pieces. So these are my flowers. I'm using the Spellbinders Simply Perfect Layered Blooms die set. I haven't used this in a while, and I forgot how gorgeous it is. They're layering flowers, and I put them together off camera, but I used golds, portobello in there, and black. So I'm kind of using some different colors, but I really love the muted tones against that bright bold teal color kaleidoscope piece. I'm adding my leaf. These little flourishes were black. I cut out 2 of those, and then I'm going to go ahead and add 1 single leaf I created with the portobello and black cardstock, and then I created a couple flowers. We're just going to arrange them underneath our middle tile here. 2 flowers and then 2 leaf pieces. And basically we're going to do the same thing on the opposite end of our hexagon. So we'll grab our black leaf flourish, tuck this under, kind of arranging it so kind of like our florals are at a diagonal. Then I'll add my single leaf, we'll pop that up and just continue on. Now after we have all of our florals adhered, I think that looks really pretty. I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment. For my sentiment, I'm bringing in an older stamp set. This is a rubber stamp from Fun Stamper's Journey, and I've had this little one for a while, but it is called the Mini Greetings stamp set. I chose this because I like the circle Miss You in it, so we're going to stamp that with VersaFine Onyx Black ink on some white cardstock. We'll just mount it on our acrylic block here. I think it's the perfect size for the center of our hexagon. I'm going to stamp it, and then I did use a circle die to cut it out. You could fussy cut, but I'm not good at fussy cutting circles, trust me. So I found a die that I could use to cut out the sentiment. I popped it up. We're going to put it in the center hexagon here, kind of creating that diagonal line with the black. I think that looks really pretty. And then all we have left to do is embellish our card with a little sparkle. I'm using the Spellbinders Color Essential Gems. This is the gold mix, and we're going to add some gold sparkle all along our card, kind of trailing at a zigzag. And then that finishes off my card today, guys, using the Spellbinders Hex Kaleidoscope Slimline die set. It's the August 2021 Large Die of the Month Club Kit. So I hope you enjoyed my project, give you some different ideas on how to use those dies. Have a great day. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. We will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.